So we are back today at Universal Orlando. We decided to actually start over in Islands of Adventure. So this is Adam's first time back since the first week that Universal reopened. And so far so good. Most people here are wearing their masks and doing social distancing. You're always going to have some people that aren't. But I feel like at this park it's a little bit better. Originally today we were supposed to go to Aquatica over at the SeaWorld water park, and we changed plans.
Yeah, I mean, it had to do with how safe we've been feeling. The numbers for COVID-19 have been climbing in Florida. So we decided that, combined with the way that the SeaWorld parks really don't enforce social distancing and mask wearing, kind of made us say, you know what, maybe let's go to Universal Studios instead.
Yeah.
So we decided to do that today.
And one thing that we've noticed is that Universal's not as busy as SeaWorld. I feel like people know that at SeaWorld, once you get in the park, you can basically pull your mask off or wear it on your chin.
Yeah.
So
I think today we're just going to see how safe we actually feel at Universal. Now that it's been open a few weeks, we're going to see if everybody's still obeying the rules and if we still feel safe coming here.
Yeah. So
before we get started, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Make sure to hit that little bell notification icon if you want to receive notifications whenever we upload new videos too.
All right, well, let's have some fun.
Yeah, let's get started. It is really hot today, so I'm thinking maybe water rides first. We're in Toon Lagoon here, so maybe let's start with Popeyes.
Okay, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
All right, so over here, we're coming upon the first You Rest area in Islands of Adventure. This means that this is an area where you can actually come in and take your mask off if you get fatigued from wearing your mask and you need a little bit of a break. So the reason that we're going to come in here real quick is we want to take a look and see how the Jurassic Park area roller coaster is coming along.
Yeah, that's one of the perks of this area, is you get a beautiful view of the progress of this ride. It looks so cool.
Yeah, it looks like they've added more tracks since the last time that I was here.
They've completed one of the loops. Actually, that looks like 2 of the inversions are now complete.
Let's take a look. That's the Hulk.
It looks like the Hulk is up to a 60-minute wait right now, so we may not be starting with that today.
Yeah.
But Popeyes is right there, and it is boiling hot, so maybe we'll go and cool off.
I can't believe I could get you on water rides now.
Well, I think the issue was before that we lived so far away. We lived 3 hours away from the parks. Now we only live 20 minutes away from the parks. So I think the issue was just being soaking wet in the car for a 3-hour drive home was not the most fun thing you can imagine. 20 minutes is easy. If I'm soaking wet and I'm in the car a little bit uncomfortable for 20 minutes, I'm fine with that. It's not a huge deal.
Well, at least if you get wet over here, it's early in the day and it is super hot, so...
Oh, I'll probably dry off immediately.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll dry off by the time we get on Hagrid's.
So we're inside the queue right now for Popeyes, and we found out that when you get on the ride, you can take your mask off because it is a water ride. So this is what the inside of the queue looks like. Just to show you over there, there are some markers on the ground to make sure people are social distancing.
Hold on to the handrail and be prepared for some drops. You must keep your hands inside.
So we just got off of Popeyes. That was so much fun.
You got soaked. Completely soaked.
I wish we could bring the GoPro on there.
Yeah, it would have been nice to film that, but
yeah,
we're not able to. It's okay.
So inside of the queue for inside of the queue for Popeyes, they have the social distancing markers on the ground, so you see where you're supposed to stand. When you actually go and you get on the boat, you are with another family if it's still possible for you to social distance. So in our case, we were on one side and it looked like it was a mother and son on the other side of us. So it was perfectly fine. They weren't sitting next to us or anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and they do let you take your masks off when you go on that ride. because you're going to get wet. So your face is going to get soaked, as you can see.
That was fun. Let's, I think it's about 1:30 now. We have a little less than an hour before our passes for Hagrid's are engaged. So let's see what we're going to do next.
We're about to enter Skull Island. I don't really care for this ride, to be honest with you. We're trying to get over to the Harry Potter area. I feel like this and Fast and Furious are the same, well, they are the same ride.
Yeah, same ride vehicle and same concept for, you know, the screen surrounding your tram. But I do personally prefer Skull Island to Fast and Furious. I think it's a better ride.
Oh, and it's only a 25-minute wait, which that is actually pretty light for Skull Island.
Yeah.
But as you can see, the park is pretty empty today. We're walking by the Jurassic Park roller coaster construction wall. This looks quite different than the last time that I was over here at the park. Look at what they've added. You can see from this side over here that they're really, really working to get this done. I'm so excited. That's definitely different than the last time I was here.
Oh, absolutely. It's a brand new element that was added.
Oh, awesome. What's the name of this supposed to be?
It's going to be the Velocicoaster.
And who's supposed to, do you know who's supposed to be making that coaster?
I am actually not sure, but that track to me looks like Premier Rides. That looks like Premier Track.
Oh. So today's been pretty fun. We got completely soaked on Popeyes. My shorts are still not dry. And then we decided to go and have, I guess it's a sort of lunch, sort of dinner over at Toothsome Chocolate Emporium, which is my absolute favorite. I like Mythos too, but Toothsome is my favorite. Now, I will say that Toothsome right now is running on a limited menu. They don't have their full menu. If you've never been to Toothsome, they are known for having outrageous desserts. Like if you order a milkshake, like a cake milkshake, there's literally a piece of cake sitting on top of your milkshake. So they're just known for
incredible,
extravagant desserts. So the menu is limited right now, but we were okay with ordering. We had tachos, which, what was even on
so
that?
it's tater tots as nachos. So this particular kind had pork belly and andouille sausage queso on top. And there was actually one little andouille sausage hiding out in the tachos. And then for an entree, I just went with the I went with a burger. It's called May Contain Bacon, and it's got bacon on it. There's a piece of pork on top, like a roasted pork on there, a pineapple chutney. Oh, it's delicious. It's fantastic.
And then I had a chicken mushroom risotto. They did make it gluten-free for me. Normally I think it has breadcrumbs on it. They kept them off. And they did the same thing for dessert. Like I said, they're running a limited menu. Usually for dessert, I would order something crazy like flourless chocolate cake, which is usually so decadent and I love it, but they don't have it right now. So we got an espresso milkshake and they kept the biscotti off. Yeah. But it came with this really thick chocolate whipped cream with chocolate covered espresso beans. It was so good. So if you've never been to Toothsome Chocolate Emporium, like I said, it is my favorite restaurant over here in City Walk. The thing about City Walk right now is that not everything is open. There's still some stuff that's closed. We found out that Big Fire Grill and Cowfish have still not opened. Those are the two in particular that we know of. We don't know when things are going to get back to normal here, when those restaurants are going to open, when restaurants like Toothsome are going to be operating with their full menu.
Yeah, I think our server told us that they're just waiting until they can operate at a higher capacity, because I think they only have it calculated, like their inventory calculated for full capacity is really tough to calculate their inventory at lower capacity, and then they end up wasting food. So in order to not do that, they've limited the menu. Makes sense.
Yeah, so hopefully everything is going to get back to normal. I know the numbers right now in Florida are getting a little scary, but hopefully things are going to turn around and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
One big topic that's really hot right now in all of the pass holder groups is if you should cancel your annual passes. So let's talk about that for a minute. We have been to the major theme parks in Florida since they reopened. We have not been to Legoland. We don't have passes for that. We have heard that Legoland is not really a lot of fun unless you have kids. So as two grown people with no children, it's just not been one of the parks that we did.
Yeah.
But we have been back to Busch Gardens, SeaWorld, Universal, Islands of Adventure. We do have plans in place to go to Disney. We do have annual passes to all of those parks. So far, let's talk about what our experience has been for each. To be honest with you, we have considered canceling the SeaWorld Busch Gardens pass for several different reasons. Number one, the big roller coasters that we've been waiting for may not be opening up for quite some time because SeaWorld is they haven't been paying their bills. So in Busch Gardens, Iron Gwazi's opening date has been postponed. In SeaWorld Orlando, Icebreaker has been postponed. And even in the other parks that SeaWorld owns, like Busch Gardens over in Virginia, I think they're behind on the bills for Pantheon as well.
Yeah, they can't open Pantheon right now.
So those were the big things that we were waiting for, and now we think that that may not happen until next year. And when you get into SeaWorld, it's a lot busier than Universal because I think that people heard, I don't know, maybe they know that as soon as you get into SeaWorld, if you pull off your face mask, the employees don't bother you about it.
Yeah.
So SeaWorld says that the masks are required and people are not adhering to social distancing. So it's kind of scary that you've got people standing right behind you, but at the same time, they're not even wearing a mask.
Right. Really, that's the whole thing. Is it's kind of a hairy situation. Like, I love going to the parks. This is my hobby. This is my one and only hobby. I don't really do anything else. I don't collect anything other than instruments, but this is like my big hobby is theme parks. And it's really sad to think that I may have to consider canceling one of the annual passes that I have because people can't seem to just follow the rules. It's sad, actually. I really enjoy Busch Gardens and I really enjoy SeaWorld. It's not an easy thing to talk about for me because I love those parks, but...
Yeah, we were actually supposed to go to Aquatica today and we changed our mind because we were reading online that there's absolutely no social distancing in there. And because it is SeaWorld's water park, at a water park, once you're inside, you don't have to wear a mask, which is fine if you're going to adhere to social distancing. But if you're going to pretend that there's no virus and you're going to stand right next to people, that's kind of a recipe for disaster. So then you have the situation of the Universal Orlando annual passes. So we have not been to Volcano Bay. We've just been to Universal and Islands. I would say that I feel relatively safe coming to these particular parks. When you come to Universal, I feel like the team over here is a lot more on top of the mask situation. They will tell you to pull up your mask if they see you wearing it incorrectly. Your mask is supposed to cover your nose and your mouth. Some people have it covering their chin. So they do tell you to go ahead and pull it up. There's even reminders in some of the ride queues where they tell you if they catch you not wearing your mask properly that they may just eject you from the ride. You won't be able to ride it. You're going to have to just go. People are not following social distancing all the time here. It's amazing to me right now that this park is so dead and you'll still have people with all the space around them that they have to walk right next to you. They're just not paying attention.
It's kind of strange, yeah.
But it's a lot easier, I feel, here to get away from people.
It is. That's the thing is, I mean, you can step to your left or to your right here. It's not really a packed park, so you do have room to move.
Yeah, I feel like SeaWorld is more packed than Universal.
It is.
And I feel like that's just very unusual.
It is kind of strange because I never knew it to be that way before all of this happened, before all this virus stuff happened. It used to be the other way around.
Yeah, but this is how it is. Right now, Universal's kind of dead. Islands of Adventure's kind of dead. I mean, if it gives you an idea, the busiest part of this park is usually when you get into the Harry Potter areas, and today they were very easy to maneuver around.
Yeah, which I'm okay with. I mean, the whole reason that we changed our plans today is because we're starting to get a little worried about the way the numbers are starting to soar. So the fact that that part of the park is kind of dispersed a little bit, a little more sparse, I was totally fine with that.
And then, of course, we want to bring up the Disney parks. So Disney, it's interesting, they implemented a reservation system. As you can clearly see, I don't understand why they implemented a reservation system.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine that Disney is going to be that busy, especially from the attendance that we've seen at the other parks.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense. The only thing that I could think of, and I hate to say this, is it's a way to make you feel like you're missing out on something if you don't get a reservation. Maybe it's some sort of a tactic to make people want to come back by telling them you're not going to be able to come because you have to have a reservation, and it's going to be hard to get reservations.
Yeah, I mean, all the other parks we need a reservation for, SeaWorld and Busch Gardens, were very easy to get reservations for. And as we saw the other day, getting Disney reservations was just as easy.
Yeah, we got Disney reservations immediately. And then one thing I want to point out that I saw that was interesting in the pass holder group for Disney is somebody showed that they tried to book reservations as a pass holder, and it showed them that not everything was available. And then they tried it again as somebody who bought a ticket, and all of a sudden things were available. And that's really kind of interesting. And I do feel bad for the Platinum Pass holders and the Platinum Plus, because they're paying over $1,000 for their passes per person, and they're definitely not getting the value out of it. If we had, we are Silver Pass holders, which means we have blackout dates. And when we moved here, we considered moving up to Platinum until this whole COVID thing happened. So now I'm glad that we didn't do that, because I don't feel like that's worth it unless Disney can fulfill their end of the bargain there, which is unlimited access to the parks.
Right, and if it's just not possible for Disney to offer that at this time, then I think they should renegotiate the contracts with their Platinum Pass holders.
I agree. I feel bad for those people. And I feel bad when people jump on them in those groups for saying that they're upset they're not getting all their benefits. It's like,
well, they
they pay good
benefits.
money for it. Yeah,
absolutely, and it's far from cheap.
It's $1,000+ even if you're a Florida resident for a Platinum Pass for Disney.
Yeah.
So we're not planning to cancel those passes. We love Disney. We're excited to go back. We believe that they'll have a better system in place than SeaWorld for social distancing. And I'm sure they'll be on top of the mask situation. But I honestly believe that this whole deal with reservations is kind of smoke and mirrors. I really do.
Yeah.
And then if you're a pass holder for Disney, you get to book 3 days. And if you have a resort stay, you get to book more. So it's almost like giving people an incentive to spend money on a hotel.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, we live in this area now, so I'm not getting a hotel room to come to Disney.
We're 20 minutes in the park.
No, so we booked our 3 days out. They're spread out, and we're fine with it.
Yeah.
So if you want to keep your passes right now, I mean, really, it just depends on if you're comfortable coming to the parks like this. There's no parades, there's no fireworks, not everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. The behavior's a lot better at Universal than it is over at the SeaWorld parks. I feel comfortable coming to Universal and Islands of Adventure, but we are considering what we're going to do about our SeaWorld passes.
Yeah,
but we'll see what happens.
All right, chums, I think that is probably going to do it for us today. We got to ride some rides, and we got to eat some really good food. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you're brand new to this channel, drop us a line, drop us a comment, let us know what you'd like to see next. and hit that little bell notification icon if you want to receive notifications whenever we upload a new video. I think I had fun today.
Yeah, it was fun. I just wish that people paid attention where they were walking.
Yeah,
But,
that's kind of a little bothersome.
yeah, but you got to make the best of it, or you can't do anything. That's
Exactly.
really what it comes down to.
Exactly. All right, guys, stay safe out there. Until next time, we'll see you at the parks.